It was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 5th May 2026. When business commenced at 10 hours, one urgent matter without notice was raised under Standing Order 142. This one came from Chilubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube, and the subject matter was on the recurring instances of known aircrafts flying at a low altitude in Chilubi Parliamentary constituency. This matter was inadmissible.
And after that, there was a ministerial statement that was rendered by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Security, and he made a statement. He did make a statement on the high-level engagement with Belgium, Sweden, and Japan, and Zambia's participation at the 11th summit of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States in the Equatorial Guinea. The minister acquainted the House with the objectives and strategic outcomes of the engagements.
After that ministerial statement, the Minister of Technology and Science presented the Technical Education, Vocational and Entrepreneurship Training Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2026. It was read the first time and referred to the Committee on Education, Science and Technology for examination until further notice.
And then the House went on to consider questions for oral answer number 340. That was considered under Standing Order number 80, and this was a question of ordinary nature.
After consideration of that one question, Shiwangandu Member of Parliament, Mr. Stephen Kampiongo, moved a motion urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Parastatal Bodies on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of parastatal bodies and other statutory institutions for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Monday, 4th May 2026. When a question was put, this motion was adopted.
And after that motion, there were quite a number of bills that were considered at second reading stage, starting with the Legal Aid Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2026, which was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House, and committee stage will be taken in due course.
Another bill that was considered is the Metrology Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2026. It was also read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage is expected to be taken in due course.
The Anti-Gender-Based Violence Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2026, was read the second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House, and we do expect a committee stage to be taken in due course.
The Business Regulatory Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2026, was also read the second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will be taken in due course.
The House went on to consider the National Youth Development Council Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2026, which was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House, and committee stage will be taken in due course.
Another bill that was considered yesterday on the floor of the House is the prohibition of the development, production, stockpiling and use of chemical weapons amendment bill, National Assembly Bill number 27 of 2026. It was also read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will be taken in due course.
The Minerals Regulation Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2026, was also considered at second reading stage. It was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will be taken in due course.
The National Housing Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2026, was also read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House, and committee stage will be also taken in due course.
The Citizens Economic Empowerment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 35 of 2026, was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will be taken in due course.
Another bill that was considered is the Green Economy and Climate Change Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 39 of 2026. It was read a second time and also committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will also be taken in due course.
The House went on to consider the National HIV/AIDS STI/TB Council Amendment Bill. National Assembly Bill number 42 of 2026 was read the second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Subcommittee stage will be taken in due course.
And the last bill that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday is the National Health Research and Training Institute Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2026. It was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the whole House. Committee stage will be taken in due course, and so the House adjourned accordingly at 15:49 hours. So this is business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 5th May 2026. Just now, we shift our attention and we look at today's order paper.
Well, Matimba, we have urgent matters, if there will be any, on the floor of the House today, Wednesday, 6th May 2026. And also, we have one question for oral answer to be considered. This will be posed by Nyimba Member of Parliament, Mr. Menyani Zulu, and his question is directed to the Minister of Energy. And first part of the question, he wants to know whether the government has any plans to electrify the following institutions in Nyimba district, and these are Chifukuzi Primary School, Kanyana Primary School, Kalongo Mwape Secondary School, Hof Moya Secondary School, Kacholola Secondary School, Chiwale Secondary School, Chief Nyalugwe's Palace, and Chief Mwape's Palace. And part B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and part D, what the estimated cost is.
Then the following question will come from Chawama Member of Parliament, Mr. Brighton Nungwe. This is question 342. He will direct his question to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. He wants to find out a question in three parts. In part A, what measures the government is taking to avert flooding during the rainy season in the following areas in Lusaka district, considering that the next rainy season is only a few months away. These are Chawama, Kanyama, Kawata, Kamwala South, Livala South, and Mandevu. In part B, the Member of Parliament for Chawama wants to find out what the measures, when the measures will be implemented, and what are the time frame for the completion of the exercises.
And we have question number 343 coming from Chilubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube, and this question is directed to the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock. And in the first part of the question, he wants to know how many companies were involved in the production of fish feed in Zambia as of April 2026. And part B of the question, what the names of the companies are. Part C, how many tons of fish feed were produced from 2018 to 2024 by year, and part D, how many tons were exported during this same period.
After consideration of those three questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80, we do expect Bwana Mkubwa, Member of Parliament, Mr. Warren Mombazi, to move a motion urging the House to adopt the report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th May 2026.
Well, and after that motion on the orders of the day, we have 8 bills to be considered at the second reading stage. And one of them is the Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 6 of 2026, to be considered at second reading stage.
We also expect the House to consider the Higher Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 11 of 2026, which is also coming at second reading.
Coming for second reading, we have the Environmental Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2026.
The National Arts Council of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2026, is also coming at second reading.
We also have the National Heritage Conservation Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 22 of 2026, to be considered at second reading stage.
The National Museums Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2026, at second reading.
The Energy Regulation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 37 of 2026, is also coming for second reading.
And the last bill is the Biosafety Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 41 of 2026. So on your screen is Madam Speaker's procession making its way to the chamber. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our rights. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry, dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Green and we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen.
Yet to be constituted, so as it is now, the bells are ringing, and business of the House is expected to start as soon as a quorum has been constituted. And briefly, we'll look at the order paper for today. Business expected to come for consideration on the floor of the House. We have urgent matters without notice, if there will be any, and then we have 3 questions for oral answer. These are questions of ordinary nature. And then we also have a motion to be moved by Bwana Mkubwa, Member of Parliament, and this is a committee report on the public accounts. And then we have 8 bills to be considered at the second reading stage.
And we do expect the first question for today to come from a Nyimba Member of Parliament, Mr. Menyan Zulu. This is question 341. His question will be directed to the Minister of Energy. He wants to find out a question in 4 parts. In part A, whether the government has any plans to electrify the following institutions in Nyimba district. These are Chifukuzi Primary School, Kanyana Primary School, Kalongo Umwape Secondary School, Home Moya Secondary School, Kacholola Secondary School, Chiwale Secondary School, Chief Nyalugwe's Palace, and Chief Mwape's Palace. And in part B, he wants to find out if so, when the plans will be implemented. In part C, what the estimated cost of the project is, and in part D, if there are no such plans, why.
And we have question number 342 coming from Chawama Member of Parliament, Mr. Nundwe. And this question is directed to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. In part A of the question, he wants to know what measures the government is taking to avert flooding during the rainy season in the following areas in Lusaka district, considering that the next rainy season is only a few months away. And these are Chawama, Kanyama, Kabwata, Kamala South, Libala South, and Mandevu. And Part B, he wants to know when the measures will be implemented, and Part C, what the time frame for the completion of the exercise is.
And the last question on the order paper today is expected to come from Chiluvi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube. He will direct his question to the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock. He wants to find out in Part A how many companies were involved in the production of fish feed in Zambia as of April 2026. In Part B, the Member of Parliament for Chiluvi wants to find out what are the names of the companies are. In Part C, he wants to find out how many tons of fish feed were produced from 2018 to 2024 year by year. And in Part D, the last part of the question, he wants to find out how many tons were exported during the same period.
Yes, you are watching Parliament television, and a quorum has not been constituted yet. As soon as we cross to the floor of the House, it seems we have a quorum.
Order. Honorable members, I have one announcement. Honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of visitors from Alliance for Community Action in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome the visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. Urgent matters without notice. The Honorable Member for Chawama.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. This urgent matter without notice is directed to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Yesterday in the afternoon, I took a drive into town, and I drove on Lumumba Road. I equally drove on Chachacha and Freedom Way. What I found was very disturbing, Madam Speaker. I saw mountains of debris lying around such roads that I've stated. The Minister of Local Government is one of the newest one in the ministry. With a new PS, Dr. Pollen and Dr. Piri, is the minister in order to subject us to this city, which is the first for Zambia. This city, Madam Speaker, is supposed to be displaying to the nation that, yes, this is the capital city. But what I saw yesterday was very disturbing. I was there. I want to repeat this on Freedom Way, Chachacha, and of course, Freedom Compound, Freedom Road. What I saw was very disturbing. Minister, why have you dropped the gun, Madam Speaker, for you not to do the periodic cleaning of these roads? I am aware, Madam Speaker, that...
speak through the presiding officer.
Madam Speaker, I saw Cairo Road. It's very clean. I must commend you. But these three roads are very pathetic. It's like, Madam Speaker, you have a house. You have cleaned the kitchen. You have cleaned the bedroom. But the sitting room is pathetic. Why should we be subjected to such?
Your time is up.
Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Chawama, for raising that issue, very important issue. But what I can say is that we don't have to depend on the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development to clean the city. I think I've said before previously that it's incumbent on all of us, honorable members, even the community, to ensure that we deal with our garbage. We don't drop it in the drains, for example. Because if we don't look after our own environment, we'll end up with things like flooding, cholera, and all those vices. So the responsibility in everyone to make sure that we keep our city clean. So the Honorable Minister, of course, is one in charge of the council to ensure that this is done, but all of us need to take responsibility. We can even start with the Chawama. When we go to Chawama, how are the people dealing with the garbage there? So, Honorable Member for Chawama, a very important point you have raised, but we all need to do something about it. If we are going to get rid of garbage, we need to change the mindset. That is where it can end. I've seen previously Her Honor the Vice President has gone out to clean. A day after that, garbage is all over. So it takes all of us. Thank you very much, but the matter is not admitted, but the guidance, I'm sure, is taken. The next one, Honorable Member for Nkana.
Madam Speaker, in the absence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I wish to direct this urgent matter without notice to Her Honor the Vice President. Madam Speaker, the brutal attacks of foreign citizens who are domiciled in South Africa has entered a very dangerous situation or stage. Foreign nationals who have gone to South Africa to do business or others who are working there are being targeted. Lucky are those who are being asked to leave, but a lot are being brutally attacked. Madam Speaker, you are aware we have a serious contingent of Zambian nationals who are domiciled in South Africa, living there, others are working, and most of our people travel to South Africa on a daily basis to do business. Madam Speaker, we've seen our colleagues, other countries in the region that have taken drastic measures. Tanzania is latest, from Botswana, who have actually closed their borders and stopped trade with South Africa. Is Her Honor the Vice President in order not to come to this House and inform the nation as to what government is doing to safeguard the lives and safety of our citizens who are traveling to South Africa, who are domiciled in South Africa, so that anxieties can be addressed? I seek your indulgence, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nkana. The situation that you are talking about involves a foreign country. Maybe what we can do is you can put in a question addressed to the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, and he will be able to answer that question. So the matter is not admitted. This worrying situation, of course, but because we are dealing with another foreign country, there are limitations as to how far we can deal with them. So the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, you can ask him a question, he can be able to answer. You can put an urgent question. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for allowing the people of Kamfinsa to raise a very important and urgent matter without notice. Madam Speaker, the government of the Republic of Zambia did announce the rolling out of an application, a mobile application called the Imisepela app. Now, Madam Speaker, the Imisepela app, I was trying to look up the first words that come when you go to the web browser. It says the Imisepela is more than an application. It is a launchpad for youth empowerment. We connect young people to job opportunities, funding for their entrepreneurial ideas. Madam Speaker, this is a brilliant idea. The idea that young people who have access to gadgets can look for job opportunities, can access so many government opportunities in form of empowerment. That was the objective, Madam Speaker, of launching the Imisepela application. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, the application has not been functioning and achieving its intended objectives. Many young people, Madam Speaker, have been asking that when you download this app and you seek an opportunity either for funding or for a job opportunity, you still don't get that opportunity, despite its well-intended objective by government. I therefore wish to direct this matter to our Honor the Vice President, because I can't see the Minister of Health. Madam Speaker, it will be important for government as we wind up our tenure of office as members of Parliament that government clarifies, government assures that this application called the Misepela app, Madam Speaker, efforts will be made to ensure that it meets its intended objective. The complaints, Madam Speaker, are genuine. Young people are complaining that the application is not giving the young people the opportunities that were intended. Is government in order, Madam Speaker, not to assure, it's just the assurance our young people need, Madam Speaker, before we can go back to our respective constituency. Madam Speaker, I seek your indulgence, and I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Definitely that issue does not qualify to be raised as an urgent matter without notice. The app, I'm sure, is under the responsibility of the Minister of Technology and Science. So if you would engage to find out, and also to bring to his attention the fact that although the app has been talked about so much, it's not functional, so that they can also address the issue. Yes, because when we come, we bring it here, we talk about it, and it ends there. But what is important is to take steps to ensure that the app starts functioning. If it fails, that's when we can come and we can ask the Honorable Minister to explain what is happening. But definitely not as an urgent matter without notice. So that concludes urgent matters without notice. We go to the next. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 341.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Menyan Zulu, Member of Parliament for Nyimba, Parliamentary Constituents, is asking the Minister of Energy a question in 4 parts. In A, Madam Speaker, whether the government has plans to electrify the following institutions in Nyimba district. That is, Madam Speaker, Chifukuzi Primary School, Kanyana Primary School, Kalonga Mwape Secondary School, Hofmeyer Secondary School, Kacholola Secondary School, Chiware Secondary School, Chief Nyalungwa's Palace, and Chief Mwape's Palace. In B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. And in C, what the estimated cost of the project is. And in D, Madam Speaker, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. In A, Madam Speaker, yes, the government of the Republic of Zambia, through Rural Electrification Authority, has plans to electrify the named institutions in Nyimba parliamentary constituents. In B, Madam Speaker, according to our updated Rural Electrification Master Plan, the institutions named in A above are scheduled for electrification in 2028, subject to the availability of funds. In C, a total cost for electrifying Chifukuzi Primary School, Hofmeyer Secondary School, Kacholola Secondary School, and Chiware Secondary School was estimated at 114,436,408 kwacha. While the cost for electrifying Kanyana Primary School, Kalonga Mwape Secondary School, Chief Nyalungwe's Palace and Chief Mwape Palace will be established once the feasibility studies are conducted in the third quarter of 2026. And indeed, Madam Speaker, the government has plans to electrify the named institution. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, you have said you have plans to work on these areas, especially Chifukuzi, Kalong, of Meya, Kachorola, and Chiwara secondary schools. And you're telling us that the estimated cost is about 108. Minister, in 2023, you promised to electrify Kachorola together with Kachorola Secondary School by December 2024. And the question now the people are asking, because now you've pushed us from 2024 to 2028, and in 2024 you agree with me that that project was budgeted for. So the question they're asking is, what happened to the money and why extending us to 2028 instead of 2024? I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, if the Honorable Member can repeat his question.
The Honorable Member for Nyimba, repeat the question, the last part of the question.
Thank you. Minister, why have you rescheduled us to 2028 when you promised the people of Kacholola in Nyimba constituency that you are going to rectify Kacholola Secondary and the surrounding area by December 2024? And the witness is the former Minister of, I can present him on the floor, the former Minister of Energy. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, I'm sure the Honorable Member is aware that we have been discussing around this project to make sure that this project is implemented. Madam Speaker, what really happened to the promise the Honorable Member that he gave to the people, to the good people of Kacholola, is, Madam Speaker, the issue of funding. If you look at the estimated money that has been put in place, Madam Speaker, you may wish to note that the amount that is involved to implement this project is more or less like the one we would want to share equally across all 10 provinces. And we didn't want to do this project in phases. We want to do the entire project. Hence, ZESCO has, RIA has gone further to make sure that this project should be aligned with our master plan for electrifying our good people in this nation. And you may wish to note, Madam Speaker, that the intention of the government is to make sure that we achieve the serious objectives that we have committed to.
Yes.
To make sure that our nations are able to access power across the nation. Universal access to electricity. That is our vision. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, the question from the Honorable Member for Nyimba, very important question regarding access to electricity for the rural part of Zambia where the constituency is domiciled. Minister of Energy, you have given assurance that 2028 this project will be implemented, wouldn't your minister or your ministry consider bringing forward the implementation of this project? Clearly, there was a commitment that was made. Whether the minister changed or not, the fact is there was a government assurance that it would be done. So maybe the question, Madam Speaker, is that can the ministry consider bringing it forward? 2028, I'm sure the people of Nyimba would want this project implemented much earlier. Is your ministry considering securing funding from the Ministry of Finance to implement the project much earlier? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, indeed, this government wishes to make sure that all our people have access to power. But like I've stated, Madam Speaker, this is subject to availability of funds. But also the Honorable Member may wish to note that as we are trying to bring in even the cooperating partners that are supporting the energy sector, all these factors are going to be considered. So it will not be right for me to just commit and say, yes, we are going to bring this project forward. The information that I have given is according to the master plan that we have set for the country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, sorry, Madam Speaker, to say this. You agree with me that all the projects, especially coming from LIA in Nyimba, it has been a problem for them to be implemented. You agree with me that you started the project, Madam Speaker, you started a very good project. It has stalled. And I don't know the parameters, Minister, you use to electrify some rural areas, looking at how Nyimba is, Nyimba is highly populated. And I just want you, Minister, to tell the people of Nyimba, what parameters do you use to rectify the rural areas? Looking at some of the areas you've rectified, the population might even go into a ward like Mombe and Chamilara 3 times, but those areas have got sufficient power. Just across Luangwa Bridge, there is abundant power with lesser population. 400 meters to the other side, there is no power. So which parameters, what are the conditions the people of Nyimba should meet for you? Can you just tell us what we should meet for you to rectify our areas? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Member. I can see the zeal the Honorable Member have for the good people of Kacholola to make sure that this project is implemented. Madam Speaker, there are no parameters that we are considering. Hence, Madam Speaker, I have said that according to government policy that we have committed ourselves, we must have universal access to electricity. So the people who are at Luangwa are just the same with the people who are in Kacholola. So the people in Kacholola also are looking forward to have access to electricity. And that's the reason why we have put these commitments for the nation, that the nation must have access to electricity. So there are no special parameters for the people who are in Luangwa or the people who are in Kacholola. Our vision as government, our policy commitment is to make sure that our citizens have access to electricity. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next question, the Honorable Member for Chawama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 342.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. The people of Chawama, through their representative, Honorable Nyundwe, to ask the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development what measures the government is taking to avert flooding during the rainy season in the following areas in Lusaka district, considering that the next rainy season is only a few months away. That is in Chawama, Kanyama, Kabwata, Kamara South, Livala South, and also Mandevu. When the measures will be implemented and what time frame for the completion of this exercise is. In response, Madam Speaker, the government has plans. The government has taken several measures to avert flooding in prone zones, which include Chawama, Kanyama, Kabwata, Kamara South, Livala South, and Mandevu. The measures are as follows. 1, the construction of stormwater drainages in phased approach. Currently, construction of 15-kilometer stormwater drainages is ongoing in Kanyama, CBD, Avondale, Foxdale, and Kalundu areas in Chilanga district. 2, sensitization of residents on good solid waste management practices with particular emphasis on not disposing waste in drainages. 3, enforcement against construction of illegal structure that are built on drainages and natural waterways. 4, routine maintenance works by routine performance contractors who are contracted through the Lusaka City Council. The contractors clean and unblock drainages in 22 zones. Currently, the council has 25 contractors who maintain and clean drainages. The plans are being implemented, Madam Speaker, in a phased manner and progressively. It is anticipated that the issue of flooding in Lusaka will be resolved. The exercise is an ongoing progressive processes due to budgetary constraints. Madam, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Chawama.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Just one follow-up question. Madam Speaker, we have a very huge dam in the midst of the compound, and this dam is called Ngwenya. Madam Speaker, this is the dam that receives water from various places, like Kamara South, Livala South, Jack Compound, Chalala, and the rest of the areas. When this dam is full to capacity, there is always an overflow to it. And this is the culprit to the flooding, particularly for Chawama. What is supposed to be done to this dam, Madam Speaker, is to create maybe some outlets or some breathers so that when the dam is full to capacity and there's an overflow, these waters start being discharged. Is the ministry going to do these works to avoid perpetual ceremonies in terms of floods in Chawama constituency? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, permit me to also say one or two words on the urgent matter of importance that was raised by the dear colleague, the Member of Parliament for Chawama, regarding the garbage in our CBD. And also, I would like to thank him that he has appreciated how Cairo Road is becoming now. Madam Speaker, one issue that we are doing to have a clean CBD was we thought of upgrading the 2 roundabouts, that is Kafue roundabout and Kabi roundabout. Within 2 months, Madam Speaker, the works on those 2 roundabouts will be done, and they will add shape to the beauty of the CBD. Thereafter, Madam Speaker, as a government, we want to roll out zero tolerance to untidiness in our CBD. It doesn't pay, Madam Speaker, when the economy is doing very well, to have a CBD that is extremely dirty. I totally agree with these concerns. We are moving to clean and have all the buildings within the CBD painted. Because some of those buildings, Madam Speaker, were painted when they were constructed. So we need to make sure that once everything is done, even street vending within our CBD, it will be a thing of the past. We need a clean city. I totally agree with him. And also, I commend you, Madam Speaker, the guidance that you gave to say cleanliness should start with us as members of Parliament. Then it rolls out into our constituencies. I totally accept and thank you for that guidance. Coming to the question, Madam Speaker, I totally agree with the Honourable Member of Parliament to say when that dam gets flooded, water starts moving anyhow, and thereby choking not only Chawam and all the surrounding areas. What is of derailment, Madam Speaker, is the concept of the resources that we have, was we need to connect these drainages to the water source. The water source in this case, Madam Speaker, it is the dam that you really mentioned. Because we need the drainage to start from the water source, which is those dams, then connect to the main drainages. But works are ongoing, resources are quite limited, but that's the route we are taking as government. Madam Speaker, I thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Member for Lukasha.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for an opportunity to ask the Minister a follow-up question. Honourable Minister, one of the innovations that government has utilized to challenge the flooding in Lusaka was the construction of the Bombay drainage. Unfortunately, this drainage, Honourable Minister, is always blocked because of poor waste management by Lusaka City Council. What plans is government trying to put in place to make sure that we have routine maintenance of this drainage, because it will definitely help us to deal with the issue of flooding in Lusaka? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I totally agree with the question raised by the Lukasha Member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, what we intend to do and what I've been observing is to review these contractors that are doing routine maintenance. Because basically it is not Lusaka City Council per se that does collect the garbage and dumps it in these drainages. But we have to look at the competencies and also the availability of these routine contractors on a daily basis. That's what I've observed, and by Friday, I'm having a meeting with Lusaka City Council so that we look at what these routine maintenance contractors do to clean these drainages and also take the waste to the designated dump site. Because what we have noted, Madam Speaker, is indeed some of these contractors, it's like they don't want to go to the designated dump site. They just, wherever they find a piece of some space, they want to dump. So we are reviewing all the 25 contractors so that we look at their capabilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next question, the Honourable Member for Chilubi.
343, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Acting Minister of Fisheries and Livestock.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member for Chilubi, Honourable Mlenga Fuve, is asking the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock a question in 4 parts. In A, how many companies were involved in the production of fish feed in Zambia as of April 2026? In B, what are the names of the companies? In C, how many tons of fish feed were produced from 2018 to 2024, year by year? And in D, how many tons were exported during the same period. Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. In A, in accordance with the records held by the ministry, a total of 6 companies were engaged in the production of fish feed in Zambia as at April 2026. In B, Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that as at April 2026, the following companies were engaged in the production of fish feed in Zambia. 1, Ala Aqua Zambia. 2, Novatec Animal Feed. 3, Nam Feed. 4, Zamfresh. And 5, Tiger Animal Feeds. 6, Farm Feed Limited. In C, Madam Speaker, the quantities of fish feed produced from 2018 to 2024, year by year. The House may wish to note that the ministry does not have reliable disaggregated annual production data for the period under review. As a result, no verified year-by-year production figures are available for fish feed produced between 2018 to 2024. Nevertheless, Madam Speaker, despite the increasing demand for aquaculture feed during this period, national fish feed production capacity has been estimated to a range between 150,000 to 400,000 tons per annum. It is further noted that a number of feed manufacturing facilities have been operating below their installed capacity, which has constrained overall output, notwithstanding the growth in the aquaculture sector. Indeed, Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that no official export were recorded between 2018 to 2020. This situation can largely be attributed to institutional transition during that period, particularly the establishment of the ministry, subsequent creation and operationalization of the Department of Fisheries and Livestock Marketing, which affected comprehensive data capture and reporting at the time. However, Madam Speaker, exports of fish feed were recorded as follows. In 2021, 12,064 tons. 2022, 15,962 tons. In 2023, 17,368 tons. In 2024, 15,072 tons. These figures represent the official recorded exports of fish feed during the same period referred to in part. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. What reasons would have contributed to the ministry picking the tons that were exported without knowing the tons that were produced? What could be the reasons leading to that?
The Honorable Acting Minister of Law, Fisheries and Livestock.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, like I stated, that there was transition during this period, which is being talked, And also, we have stated that the period between 2018 to 2024, we didn't have any special record for the production as well as the exports. So, Madam Speaker, this is the situation that happened during that period being referred to. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lukasha.
Madam Speaker, thank you once again for an opportunity to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Fisheries. Minister, there was mooted an idea previously of trying to empower cooperatives to participate in feed production for fish. I just wanted to find out what the status of that program is, especially in the fish catchment areas in Northern Province. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Fisheries and Livestock.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, Madam Speaker, looking at the increasing demand in the country in terms of the fish feed production, the government has come up with a program to train our cooperatives, to give them the capacity building so that they are able to produce fish feed for the aquaculture sector. And this program is ongoing, and we are trying to make sure that cooperatives meet the standards of producing this fish feed that we are talking about, which is now, from the indicators, Madam Speaker, aquaculture sector now, it is showing a lot of interest compared in the past, where people didn't have the interest to, invest in aquaculture. So, Madam Speaker, the government is still in the process of helping our cooperatives in various provinces to make sure that they are able to produce the feed. This program, Madam Speaker, is still ongoing to make sure that we build capacity amongst our cooperatives that we have. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Chilubi.
I wanted to find out whether the Minister is aware that fish feed from 2021 to date has increased for more than 157% in terms of pricing. That is starter, grower, finisher, cutting across that. There is no fish feed that is lower in terms of that range. What could be the contributing reasons to that kind of increase?
The Honorable Acting Minister of Fish, Livestock and Fisheries.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, in my first response, I did state that, first to start with, only 6 companies. And when you compare how many numbers of our farmers now who have invested in aquaculture, the number keeps on increasing. So the 6 companies that we have, Madam Speaker, they are not fully producing to their fullest capacity. And that's what is affecting the fish feed production. Also, Madam Speaker, I have stated that that is the more reason why this government has found it fit that we need also to consider giving capacity to our cooperatives to supplement to what these 6 companies are producing. And at the same time, Honorable Member, you may wish to note, Madam Speaker, that the Honorable Member is one of the farmers in the aquaculture sector. He's a big farmer. He has so many fish ponds. That's why you see that kind of interest in this question. Oh. Madam Speaker, okay. We as government, we are trying the level best to make sure that we increase the production of fish feed to cater the demand that is coming to our farmers, such as Honorable Fude. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Honorable Fude, Honorable Member for Chilubi, for showing the example, leading by example in the fish farming. Motion, the Honorable Member for Chikankata.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024, laid on the table of the House on 5th May 2026.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? Order, honorable members. Is the motion seconded?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Seconded by the honorable member for Mufurira. The question is that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th May 2026. Any debate? The honorable member for Chinkakata.
Madam Speaker, in accordance with Standing Orders 204 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024, the committee considered the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024, and has the rare honor and privilege to present its findings before this August House. Madam Speaker, in order to fully appreciate the issues raised in the Auditor General's report, the committee engaged various controlling officers whose institutions were cited in the report. The controlling officers tendered both written and oral submissions to the committee. Madam Speaker, let me state from the outset that the management of public funds is a sacred trust. It is not a privilege to be abused, but a responsibility to be exercised with utmost integrity. Where accountability is weak, service delivery collapses. Where transparency is absent, public confidence erodes. And where oversight is ignored, abuse thrives. Madam Speaker, the findings of the committee review a disturbing persistence of irregularities that demand decisive intervention. The committee is deeply alarmed by the continued failure by some ministries, provinces, and agencies to adhere to procurement laws. This is not a matter of oversight. It is a matter of willful disregard. The engagement of Alliance and Capacity Building Limited by the Ministry of Education at a staggering cost of 25.6 million kwacha without any procurement procedure is a glaring example of this misconduct. Even more concerning, the Zambia Public Procurement Authority, the very institution mandated to safeguard procurement integrity, facilitated this engagement without ensuring the existence of formal contracts. This failure strikes the heart of institutional accountability and cannot be condoned. Madam Speaker, the committee therefore calls for firm and uncompromising action. Officers involved in this irregularity must face punitive measures, and the matter must be referred to investigative agencies without delay. Anything less would signal tolerance and impunity. Madam Speaker, equally troubling is the Wales Bay Port Concession Agreement. What was intended to be a strategic national investment has instead become a liability. The concessionaire has failed to meet its obligations, defaulting on rental payments, withholding concessional fees, unlawfully transferring the lease to a third party, all while neglecting agreed infrastructure development. To compound matters, the government was forced to pay $1.5 million in December 2024 to settle outstanding charges on behalf of the concessionaire, funds which remain unrecovered. This is unacceptable. Public resources must not be used to cushion private failure. The committee therefore recommends for urgent recovery of these funds through the Office of the Attorney General. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the executive must strengthen due diligence and enforce robust contract management systems. The cost of negligence is simply too high. Madam Speaker, the committee also expresses grave concern over the failure to ensure government assets. Public property remains exposed to preventable risks due to sheer neglect. The case of 7 uninsured Zambia police boats is not just an oversight, it is a failure of responsibility. The committee therefore urges the executive to act decisively, ensure all government assets, establish a comprehensive asset management system, and enforce strict compliance with the Public Financial Regulations 2020. Madam Speaker, the mismanagement of infrastructure projects by the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development presents yet another unacceptable trend. Projects such as Kaloma District Hospital, Phase 3, and Ron Anthrop General Hospital have been plagued by serious irregularities, delays, poor planning, substandard works, and execution without approved designs. This is not mere inefficiency, it is gross negligence. It reflects a breakdown in professional standards and accountability. Madam Speaker, the committee therefore calls for immediate disciplinary action against ailing officers and a renewed commitment to capacity building in procurement and contract management. Public infrastructure must serve the people, not become monuments of mismanagement. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, let me emphasize that the issues raised in this report are not abstract concerns. They have real consequences for the lives of our citizens. Every misapplied kwacha is a classroom not built, a hospital not equipped, a service not delivered. The time for compliance has passed. The time for decisive action is now. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to you, Madam Speaker, and to the Office of the Clerk for the invariable support rendered to the committee. I also extend appreciation to the permanent witnesses for their technical assistance. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member from Frill.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. And as I rise to second the motion on the report of the Public Accounts Committee, on the report of the Auditor General for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. Madam Speaker, permit me to highlight a number of recurring and deeply concerning systemic weaknesses that continue to undermine public service delivery and result in substantial losses of public resources. Madam Speaker, let me begin with the abandonment of boreholes, dams, and water projects. The committee noted persistent weaknesses in the implementation of borehole and dam projects under the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation. This is particularly in relation to the delayed works, poor workmanship, and abandoned projects. Despite substantial payments having been already made to the contractors, in many cases, Madam Speaker, contractors received mobilization advances up to 25% of the contract sum, but later abandoned the works, leaving the communities without access to water and the government without value for money. Madam Speaker, the committee observed, in fact, that this is systemic across various ministries and spending agencies, that once contractors are awarded contracts, and they are paid the 25% advance payment. They do very little to deliver the projects and abandon the sites, leaving the government having lost the 25% advance payment. Therefore, Madam Speaker, the committee in this regard recommends that controlling officers should only authorize advance payments where adequate securities are in place and should ensure strict supervision of projects. The committee further recommends that contractors who abandon works should be permanently blacklisted. Madam Speaker, in some cases in the report, you find that where the contractors even submitted the advance payment guarantee, when they fail to deliver, it is discovered that, in fact, that advance payment guarantee was obtained fraudulently, and the insurance company fails to honor it. Madam Speaker, let me move on to weak contract management and expired performance bonds. The committee further observed widespread weaknesses in contract management across ministries and spending agencies. Several institutions failed to enforce contractual obligations. They failed to claim liquidated damages and allowed performance bonds and advance payment guarantees to expire without encashment. Despite contractual default, the committee finds this matter particularly concerning because it exposes government to avoidable financial losses and undermines accountability in the utilization of public resources. In this regard, the committee recommends that controlling officers and heads of procurement units who fail to enforce contractual provisions should be held personally accountable. Ministries should also strengthen procurement oversight and ensure timely enforcement of performance securities. Moving on, Madam Speaker, to failure to recover public funds from defaulting contractors. The committee observed a growing trend where ministries merely refer matters involving abandoned projects and lost public funds to the Attorney General's chambers without making meaningful efforts to recover the money. As a result, projects remain incomplete for years, while public funds continue to be tied up in unresolved contractual disputes. Right now, Madam Speaker, the Attorney General Chambers is inundated with references from ministries and other spending agencies to help them recover advance payments from contractors who have since abandoned projects but have been paid the advance payments. Therefore, the committee recommends the establishment of stronger contract recovery mechanisms within ministries and urges the government to expedite legal recovery processes in order to safeguard public funds. Moving on, Madam Speaker, to another disturbing finding in the Auditor General's report for 2024 is the lack of title deeds for government properties. The committee noted with concern the continued failure by government institutions to secure title deeds for public properties, including government houses, offices, and institutional land. This situation exposes public assets to encroachment, disputes, and possible losses. And it is surprising, Madam Speaker, at times how ministries fail to coordinate with the Ministry of Lands, because this is a government-to-government transaction that should be done with with very minimal delays. But you find that many government properties and institutional land is still untitled and therefore risks encroachment and loss. The committee recommends that all ministries and agencies undertake a comprehensive audit of government properties and prioritize the acquisition of title deeds for all public assets. Poor projects planning and supervision. Madam Speaker, the committee observed weaknesses in project planning, inadequate monitoring, and poor supervision of public projects across several ministries. This has resulted in incomplete infrastructure, inflated costs, prolonged extensions of time, and wasteful expenditure. In this regard, the committee recommends that ministries must strengthen project management units, improve monitoring systems, and ensure that only technically capable contractors are awarded public projects. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the executive must take note that every abandoned project, every expired performance bond, and poorly supervised program represents a direct loss to the people of Zambia. The committee, therefore, urges the executive to take its recommendations seriously in order to ensure that the resources entrusted to government ministries and spending agencies are managed prudently in the best interest of the nation. Madam Speaker, I beg to second.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Nkana.
Madam Speaker, the report we are discussing is a very disturbing report. And the matter at hand, Madam Speaker, is not a partisan matter. This is a national matter. Madam Speaker, I want to start by re-echoing the statement that has been made by the mover of this motion, who has stated that the management of public resources is a sacred trust that must not be abused. The revelations in this report, Madam Speaker, requires that affirmative actions must be taken against all those who have been found wanting in misappropriating public resources. Oftentimes we hear excuses of there's no report to law enforcement agencies. Where I stand, law enforcement agencies should move upon listening to these revelations. The mover highlights persistent irregularities, non-adherence to procurement rules, willful disregard for the rules that have been established. These are grave issues, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what has been noted throughout this report, from the auditor's report up to the report that has been given by the committee, is a systematic practice, more of a syndicate, Madam Speaker, of contractors being given contracts, being given advance payments of 25%, they go on site, abandon the projects, and nothing is done. Throughout this report, Madam Speaker, you will see a consistent pattern of contractors. Some of these contractors, Madam Speaker, move from one site, they are given a 25% down payment, they fail, the contract is terminated, they are given another contract in another area, again given a 25%, they abandon the statement. I'll give you a few examples so that you understand how grave this matter is, Madam Speaker. Let me cite one example, Madam Speaker. Now, I want to stress this. Corruption must be fought, not by mere rhetorics, actions. Under the Ministry of Community Development, Madam Speaker, on page 11 of the audit report.
Honorable Member from Nkana, sorry. There's an indication for a point of order by the Honorable Member for Zambezi. Is it East? East, yes.
Madam Speaker, I am comfortably seated here, attentively listening to the debate that the Honorable Member for Nkana is delivering on the floor of the House. However, I'd like to invoke the provision of Standing Order number 71, which demands that during our discourse, we must be factual in presenting our debate. The Honorable Member for Nkana rightly mentioned about the issues that are in the report. However, he missed it by saying that he has examples of somebody that was given a contract and paid 25%, and then they were given another contract and given 25%. This is specific. Is the Honorable Member really able to cite that specifically and give that example and cited in the report, as it were? Or he's just trying to arouse the situation? And in any case, these contracts he's talking about are for the past period, even if the audit was done recently. It was in the period when his party then was actually in governance. Is he in order to continue on that trajectory, to mislead the nation without specifying, as it were? Madam Speaker, I need your serious ruling.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Zambezi East. I was actually listening, and I was waiting for the Honorable Member to refer to a particular page. So I was giving him that time to show us. If it's not in the report, then of course he will be out of order. But Honorable Member Fonkana, please proceed and refer to the report, the specific issue that you referred to in your debate. You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, it's important that all of us read these reports so that we don't come and embarrass ourselves. I want to give specific examples of what I've been referring to. On page 201 of the audit report, there is one cited irregularity, the failure to recover advance payments that were given to contracts that were terminated. And it gives an example of a company called GNM Projects Limited that was contracted to do the Mbaswa Dam, advanced 25% advance payment of 3.3 million. Now, this is not the only company. There's a total sum of 12 million that was advanced to different companies whose contracts were terminated and monies never recovered. This same GNM project was further given to construct palaces. One palace in Chief Tafuna, where he was actually advanced, out of a contract of 3 million, he was advanced 759,000 kwacha, abandoned the works. He was also contracted to construct a palace in Chief Mwamba's area, a contract worth 3.3 million kwacha. He was advanced 1.48 million kwacha, abandoned the works, and these were not recovered. So these are all contained in the report of the Auditor General at 201, Honorable Member. Let me cite another issue, Madam Speaker, that you will find on page 101 in the audit report relating to the Ministry of Community Development. Here, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Community Development contracted different suppliers, about 34 of them, a total of 1.469 billion kwacha for supplying different components of the food security pack. Here we are talking about seeds, we're talking about fertilizer, and the like. 34 contractors were contracted under this security food pack program. An example has been given of a company called Transseed Zambia Limited. Sadly, Madam Speaker, this is a report of a financial period from January 2024 into December 2024. Just to correct my friend, from Zambezi who has not read anything. This is a report of 2024.
Order, Honorable Member Fonkana. Please don't assume that honorable members come to the House without reading anything. That kind of comment is not sitting well with the dignity and honor of the House. So please avoid using such terms.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You may proceed.
Thank you for your guidance. Madam Speaker, under this irregularity, out of a total of $1.4 billion, or rather kwacha, that was given to different companies, 34, a total of 923 million kwacha was given as advance payments to different contractors and suppliers. Interestingly, Transseed Zambia, whose contract sum was 31 million kwacha, was given to supply, but only, and was also paid 9.7 million kwacha. And as at the close of 2025, nothing had been paid or delivered, rather. Madam Speaker, 9.7 million kwacha advanced to Transeed. Unfortunately, Transeed, we are not allowed to discuss ourselves. I'll leave those details, but belongs to a member of this August House. But we will not go there because you were not supposed to debate each other, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member Fonkana, by mentioning that the owner of that particular company belongs to this house, you are already debating the honorable, whoever that honorable member is. Just please debate within the accepted rules of the house. You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, these are very disturbing issues that have been highlighted in the report. Save for time, there's so many issues, Madam Speaker, that are heartbreaking. I'll take you to the Ministry of Agriculture. On page 85 of the audit report. Now, this is a long-standing issue, which is, according to the Auditor General, is the failure to adhere to agreements on assignments of rights and agreements. Now, Madam Speaker, just for simplicity, a contract worth $30 million was awarded to a company. And under the arrangement, this company goes and outsources or goes into an agreement with a company called Swiss Singapore Overseas Enterprise, where they got $3 million. And an agreement was made between our local company to the effect that when they execute this contract, the $3 million should be given to the Swiss company. Interestingly, when this contract is executed, they write now to the Ministry of Agriculture to pay them the whole lot of $30 million. And the ministry pays despite not revoking this undertaking. And later on, this Swiss company comes and claims the $3 million and the ministry pays. Madam Speaker, every penny must be accounted for. Officers who are erring
the
must
honorable
be dealt
member
with.
wind up. You have run out of your time.
Madam Speaker, corruption cannot be fought through mere rhetorics. These culprits must be taken to jail as soon as today. We cannot be sitting on such huge corruption, and we want to think this country can develop. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The honorable member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the mover of this motion. Madam Speaker, the mover was very elaborate. And also, Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the seconder of the motion. Madam Speaker, today we are discussing a report by the Public Accounts Committee to this House. And Madam Speaker, this report raises two very important issues that we must discuss. Number one is the issue of transparency. And number two is the political will by the government to fight corruption. Madam Speaker, if you look at this report, many of the contractors who've been cited in this report are Zambians. And these are local contractors. Meaning that there is, one, political will to empower Zambians by the government. And then here comes a contractor who has been given a contract to go and execute. They decide to run away. Who is on the problem side? Is it government or a Zambian who has been given money to empower him, his family, and the nation? Madam Speaker, it makes me feel bad. The government means well by giving our local people money to empower households, money to empower companies, money to empower the many suffering lives. Here goes out one who runs away with the money and wants to go and get another contract. Madam Speaker, what sort of people are we?
where on earth can you find such a government which can give you money and you run away as a local contractor and you want again to survive and get another contract? Madam Speaker, this is a very big problem. Our local contractors very soon will start crying that the government now is awarding contracts to foreigners. And this must go to NCC, the body that looks at contractors. Also, we are appealing, Madam Speaker, to the Engineering Council of Zambia to sit down with local contractors and review their performance when it comes to contracts. Madam Speaker, this report helps this nation a lot. Because if there was something that the government was hiding, this report was not going to see the face of the report on the floor of the House. Now that this government is very transparent, this report is here and we are debating it. It shows that there is political will to fight corruption, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, political will can only be seen by actions. And corruption can only be fought by actions like bringing out what is being hidden. And here's the report, which has shown, your report, Madam Speaker, has shown that there are irregularities somewhere. What do you expect now? Is the officers in charge given the powers to investigate and take these people where they belong, Madam Speaker. It ends there. And that is what we call fighting what? Corruption. Already here, we have demonstrated that we are able to fight corruption by way of exposing what is being done. And when what is being done, Madam Speaker, is exposed, that means that now it leaves all this in the hands of the enforcement to come into place and ensure that it is done properly. Madam Speaker, when I come to what they are terming as systematic corruption, Madam Speaker, the laws are very clear. Madam Speaker, the laws are very clear on the governance of a contract. Madam Speaker, the laws are very clear on the governance of a contract.
Honorable Member for Nakonde, please just hold on. Let's have a good flow. You will be allowed.
Madam Speaker, a contract is governed, is governed by...
Guided, Honorable Member. Can we have order?
Madam Speaker, a contract is governed by laws. And these laws, Madam Speaker, must be adhered to.
Order. Honorable Member for Nakonde, please, can you resume your seat? You cannot walk away after you've been guided. You walk away. It's against our standing orders. I said you'll be given an opportunity. I want to have a flow of the debate. May the Honorable Member for Chitambo continue.
And Madam Speaker, these laws are very clear on how you can give an advance payment to a contractor. They must show that they're a registered company in this country. Madam Speaker, they must also bring to the officers regulating or looking at this contract advance bonds, performance bonds, and they must also...
Honorable Member for Nakonde, you've been guided. Are you walking away? Even after you've been guided? Honorable Member for Nakonde, please resume your seat. May the Honorable Member for Chitambo continue.
Madam Speaker, this is a report that all of us should cherish, and Madam Speaker should look forward to such reports because it is showing who is becoming a problem. It is our local contractors who are trying to enrich themselves in a way when government is trying by all means to empower our local people. And Madam Speaker, to the committee, we want to state that please continue with the beautiful work and the wonderful work of bringing out what might be hidden so that the general public should know. Even those that are condemning today
some of those who are leaving this country, going where they come from, who are saying corruption is being hidden, so on and so forth, they should come today here and see this report, showing that the government is fighting what? Corruption, by bringing to the many Zambians that these people have gotten money without working. Madam Speaker, with that said, I want to submit.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Nakonde, you may now raise your point of order.
Madam Speaker, I can't raise it now because it was an immediate objection that I wanted to raise. Because the Honorable Member, yes, so it has already passed.
So you have no point of order to raise. We make progress. The Honorable Member for Mukushi South.
Immediate objection.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to debate on the grand corruption that is happening in UPND government, which even foreign nationals are talking about. Madam Speaker, listening from the report, Madam Speaker, listening from the report that has been presented in this House, it gives a worrying state of affairs that government institutions can approve a bond guarantee which is fake, and a person is paid money 25% against the contractual obligations. What kind of government is this? Who is able to give advance payment beyond the contractual obligations? Madam Speaker, Minister, I know that this is your last step.
Let's allow the Honorable Member for Mukushi.
Minister of Mines, I know that this is your last term in Parliament. So,
Honorable Member for Mukushi.
You will not lose and you will not win unless if you are appointed.
Order, Honorable Member for Mukushi. Let me give guidance. Let me give guidance, Honorable Member for Mukushi. You are coming up very well debating, but as you debate, please refer to the report. The incidents that you are referring to, on what page of the report is it? Because you were saying, listening to the report, I hope you have read the report, and you can, as you debate, you can refer to specific pages so that we follow your debate. May you continue?
Madam Speaker, the chairperson for the committee presented a report here, and in her speech, it's very clear. It's very clear that...
the guidance, Honorable Member, is that if you have read the report, you should be able to point to some specifics in the report to support your debate. That is what I'm helping you, to guide you so that your debate is enriched. So you may continue.
Madam Speaker, we have been told from the report, transit company was given a contract of 31 million kwacha and given an advance payment of 9.7 million without even delivering anything. That is corruption. That is corruption.
Is it corruption or theft? Just be clear. Is it corruption or theft?
Madam Speaker, both. It is one corruption Two, it is also theft. Because how can somebody be given a 25% advance payment against the contractual obligation? Madam Speaker, am I speaking through you or I'm speaking through these UPND surrogates?
Honorable member for Mukushi, how can you say UPND surrogates? Please, can you withdraw?
Why are you allowing them to argue with me, Madam Speaker? I'm speaking to you. I need your protection.
Order, honorable member. I was guiding you. Order. Honorable member for Mukushi South, if you were following, I was guiding you and also helping you to enrich your debate. If you follow the guidance, you will not get adverse comments. So now you are being guided, but you are laughing and what? I don't know if you visited my popular place as you came through. You may proceed as you debate. Please, can we allow the honorable member to continue?
Madam Speaker, I'm not aware of a popular place that belongs to you.
It's on my left side.
Oh, but no, unfortunately, I stopped drinking. Long time.
Oh, okay, very
Madam
good.
Speaker, the report that has been presented in this House is not pleasing at all. The members have indicated, the committee has made a report that advance payments were being paid, and these same advance payments, a contractor, without delivering, is given another contract. What criteria are we using to continue giving a contractor works, and meanwhile the other works have not been delivered? For me, Madam Speaker, this amounts to corruption and connivance. And therefore, my recommendation and my appeal is to the law enforcement agencies that they need to up the game in order to ensure that the government resources are preserved. Madam Speaker, if we allow contractors, in as much as they are given works, and we allow them to continue to continue getting works and without executing the works, and we continue giving them some more works, it means that we are promoting corruption. And yet, the UPND is on record of saying we are fighting corruption. How can you fight corruption if you are the ones who are promoting it? Giving contracts to people whom we don't want to be mentioned, being an MP and promoted. Are we promoting them because of what? Because of not having delivered the services that are supposed to have delivered? Madam Speaker, it is important that as we change government on 13th August, 20 million Zambians are going to remove you.
Honorable member for Mukushi, on what page is that, changing government?
On the Honorable Minister of Sports face.
Which page in the report, honorable member? Proceed.
Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I wish to second the motion.
Thank you very much. As they say, equality. Thank you very much, honorable member for Mukushi South. The honorable member for Lunte.
Madam Speaker, if you listen to what the Honorable Minister of Mines has said, he said I should not have temper. And the Honorable Minister of Sports is saying, Akula Ndafiapo. Let me proceed according to the minister's advice.
Akulandapo, what does it mean? Meaning,
Minister, what does it mean? Akulandapo.
you are squandering your time, honorable member. It's
Thank
running.
you, Madam. Madam, you know my position on the Auditor General, Dr. Ron Mwambo. I really hate talking about him, but this report, he has brought out a number of things, things that we in the opposition and those who love this country have continued to talk about, which is that in this UPND government, there's too much corruption. There is too much thieving of public resources. Madam Speaker, small things matter. This is why I'll talk about small things today. On page 220, an authorized transfer of funds, 1.8 million kwacha. Madam Speaker, government does operate with established systems. When you listen to what people have said about ZESCO, transferring $82 million by mistake, you think that the mistake will end at ZESCO. No, it's not just ZESCO, Madam Speaker. It is also in the mainstream government, the actual GRZ, the Auditor General has said so. Madam Speaker, this is bad, not only for UPNG, but for the entire country, because you cannot have a government which can continuously transfer money by mistake, transfer money wrongly. Why are you transferring money wrongly when your minister, Madam, today has brought a supplementary budget? Part of that money will be transferred again wrongly. What type of government is UPNG? Madam Speaker, I'll move on. Madam Speaker, listen.
Just for my help, so that I follow the debate, what document are you using? The Auditor General's report or the report of the committee?
The committee's report on the Auditor General's report, Madam.
Okay, so on page 220, I've not seen ZESCO there being referred to.
No. ZESCO is not there. I am saying an authorized transfer of funds. It's similar to what ZESCO did. I'm reminding the House.
Just again, just stop the clock, just for my appreciation also. The issue of ZESCO is for which year? So that, because we are looking at the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement ending 31st December 2024. So that issue that you are talking about, ZESCO, for which period is it?
Well, it was last year. When
so it's
ZESCO
not covered in this report.
$82 million. It was last year, Madam.
Let's concentrate on the report.
Thank you so much. I actually moved on already. And with your guidance, I'm still moving on.
The Honorable Member, you have moved on, but we need to stick to the rules. We are debating the report of the committee. So let's not bring new issues which are not covered, because there will be no response to that issue. Thank you. You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, failure to maintain assets. It's a small thing, Madam Speaker, because you think government assets are procured by taxpayers, therefore it doesn't matter. In previous governments, Madam, you had the ministry dedicated to government assets. That ministry was called Ministry of Works and Supply. Madam Speaker, UPND has removed the Ministry of Works and Supply. Today, when these assets are misappropriated and not maintained, nobody will even know anything. But look, will say taxpayers, feel sorry for the taxpayers who are injecting capital into these assets that must be deployed to their benefit. Madam Speaker, it must hate you. It must hate the UPND ministers.
Sorry, Honorable Member for Lunte, there is an indication for a point of order.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member, Madam Speaker, has indicated that the UPND government removed the Ministry of Works and Supply when we came into power. I would like to find out whether the statement he has made is accurate, pursuant to Standing Order 71. Because even under PF, there was no Ministry of Works and Supply.
Order. Honorable Member for Lunde. The issue of the ministry, I allowed the point of order because I also noted that you said when in your debate that the Ministry of Works and Supply have been done away with. So do you have any information to support what you are saying? Because information should be truthful and verifiable. Do you have ways we can put it on the table?
Madam, I was a Minister of Works and Supply. Me.
You were the...
I was a minister. I was a Minister of Works and Supply. Myself. Myself.
Anyway, you can lay yourself on the table.
Madam
Okay,
Speaker,
so
thank
please,
you so much.
honorable members, you debate, let's be factual. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs will be contesting in a new constituency. So,
on what page is that in the report?
Madam, I was just trying to say that the assets of this republic are important, and they ought to be properly maintained. And in the past regimes, including the PF, we used to have the Ministry of Works and Supply, which was responsible for taking care of all assets of government, including this building we are in. Today, we do not have that ministry. One small mistake leads to these problems that we are seeing in the Auditor General's report. Failure to maintain assets. Now, the way Auditor General reports, they report according to the samples they take. What will happen, Madam Speaker, if you assess the entire government with regards to these assets? I shudder to imagine what revelations may come out. Let me proceed, Madam Speaker. Management of payroll and staff-related matters. Madam Speaker, misplacement of workers, wrongly introducing people on payroll. These are small matters, but they are so significant because what you want to have is people properly employed, properly introduced on payroll, properly promoted, and properly discharged. But now, introducing people on payroll wrongly, on a government payroll, and their names are there. Madam Speaker, continuing to pay people who have retired. These are serious problems. They may appear small because the numbers that Auditor General is talking about are numbers which are only affected by that sample. But consider this government enterprise. It's such a huge enterprise that when you find one small problem in one area, take interest. It's just that there's not much time for UPND to do so. But I would have been urging them to take interest in these matters. If they take interest in these matters, they may correct a lot of things that can begin to work to the benefit of our people. Madam Speaker, UPND government has been careless over the past 4 years. This carelessness, Madam, is clearly reflected in this Auditor General's report. And you want to say, don't talk too much, people already know these things. But even for those who are coming, learn from these mistakes, Madam Speaker. Guard these resources properly. Ensure that these resources are deployed for the benefit of not just a few, but the majority Zambians. Madam Speaker, I wish to support the adoption of this report with just that one line of a contribution. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chawama.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I will take a very different version of cancelling Honorable Member for Chikankata, your report was very insightful and very sourceful with deep fabric. And of course, the seconder here, Honorable Mwila. Now, when you get deeper into this report, Madam Speaker, it talks about supervision from the controlling officers. The mandate of a controlling officer, I want the ministers to listen because they need to be convening these meetings. The work of a controlling officer is not just to sit in the office, but to monitor the programs and, of course, the projects. This has been highlighted in the report, which gives a very ugly report to the nation and to this House. You can't have a pedigree of controlling officers that simply sign documents without seeing what is obtaining in the field. That's the counsel I'm trying to give. The Financial Management Act of 2015, Madam Speaker, does not just punish the controlling officer. Even a simple junior officer of 2018, if he has committed a mistake, such an officer can be charged. This is very important for any ministry or any institution. Now, giving a contract to a contractor in the absence of having sufficient funds has also been highlighted. This should not be obtaining. A controlling officer should be certain that we've got funds available for this contract. Then he goes ahead, or she goes ahead, with a head procurement to procure such a project. Now we have seen also payments that are being made to a contractor that has done very minimal job. What I know, Madam Speaker, is that any payment that is made to the contractor should correspond with the amount of work that has been done. In the absence of such, that payment cannot be made, but this is what was obtaining. We also have integrity committees in all these institutions. I want to advise the executive that you need to have periodic meetings with all senior government officials, the directors, the controlling officers, and intensify integrity committees. These will help the institutions. These things that have been highlighted here, Madam Speaker, it can take 10, 15 years, but they'll still come to the fore. And we don't want to see a person to be responsible for such things. It looks so comic and funny, and somebody can be laughing, but these are very grave matters. And we ought not to take this lightly. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Quality. Speaking as a former controlling officer, Quality. you should, any further debate, I see none from the back benches, so now is the time for the honorable ministers to respond. We start with the Honorable Minister of Information and Media.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity that I may render my voice on the motion on the floor of the House. Let me at the outset indicate that I support the report of your committee, Madam Speaker, and also I speak with some appreciable level of understanding of what this report is talking about, having served as member of Public Accounts Committee for 10 years in this House. And so, I did not initially intend to debate, but I was gripped with consternation, Madam Speaker, with some of the submissions coming from your left. Because after 5 years of being in this House, I did not expect some of the statements being made to find breath on the floor of this House. Let me begin, Madam Speaker, by responding to my brother, Honorable Kafwaya, who has said that the UPND government removed from the structure of ministries the Ministry of Transport, Works and Supply, which initially, under the previous administrations, was responsible for taking care of the inventory of state assets. Madam Speaker, I was shocked to hear such a statement. But I understand, Madam Speaker, with the people we are dealing with. What we are talking about here, Madam Speaker, is a number of ministries were realigned by President Hakainde Hichilema in order to reduce the number of ministers in line with his electoral commitment to run a lean government. And that is why today his executive is only 25 ministers, as opposed to the grand cabinets of the past, which delivered less than what their voluminous presence was all about. Madam Speaker, the ministry Honorable Kafwaya is talking about has now been realigned to be called the Ministry of Transport and Logistics. That logistics part is what he is worried about, the absence of the nomenclature, works and supply. So it is just the realignment, and in terms of wording, the ministry is still there. And that is why I'm surprised by the statements he has made. Maybe he's not aware. I'm now bringing to his attention and to the nation that the Ministry of Transport and Logistics today still takes care of government asset inventory. And that is not what the problem when it comes to abuse of public resources. So, Madam Speaker, I thought I placed that on record so that the nation is not misinformed, deliberately or willfully. Secondly, Madam Speaker, I have heard the debate of the MP for Nkana, and also my brother, the MP for Mukushi South, wherein they are stating that this government is giving 25% to contractors who are not delivering. Let me place on record firstly, Madam Speaker, that 25% is provided for at law as advance payment to the contract sum. In other words, it's called mobilization fund or fee to enable a contractor to hit the ground running. This is provided for at law. It has nothing to do with the New Dawn administration. This, Madam Speaker, was a case as it was even under the previous administration, to which my colleagues belonged to. And I want to place on record, Madam Speaker, also that when you have been given an advance payment, which is in accordance with the law, therein comes the responsibility of the contractor to fulfill contractual terms. And when they have received that money and not delivered, it now has to go in the realm of failure to perform their contract and not anything to do with government. Is he imagining that when a contractor is given a contract, then we ourselves as government, we go on the ground to begin to execute these works? Of course, the duty of the executive is to supervise. But then, when a contractor has received money and failed to fulfill their contractual obligation, you cannot lump it on government. Let me also indicate, Madam Speaker, that in fact, these should have been the last people even to talk about these issues. Look at the amounts of money they are talking about, not to say that it is little, but comparative to what has happened in the past. They are talking about 9 million kwacha. Under their administration, Madam Speaker, they were giving millions and millions of kwacha. And one of the cases in sight is Luapula University. 33 million United States dollars given without any performance on the ground. And today you are talking about 9 million kwacha,
Sorry,
not
Honorable
$9 million.
Minister, there is an indication for a point of order. What's the point of order, Honorable Member from Kano?
Premised on Standing Order number 71 being factual, being relevant to the conversation at hand. Madam Speaker, the conversation today relates to the audit report of 2024 from January to December, and you have guided that you cannot refer to ZESCO and any other issue. Is a Minister of Information in order to drag us into matters that are not under consideration when he cannot even tender before you evidence of what he is, talking about? I seek your indulgence, Madam Speaker.
So, honorable members, when the ministers are responding, they are responding to the issues that were raised when the matter was being debated. So they cannot leave it hanging and not comment on it, just to make sure that the facts are on the ground. There is a point for and against, so they are just responding to that. But in relation to the point that the Honorable Member from Kana was mentioning, was that this particular company was given 25% down payment, but then defaulted. Again, they were given another contract. I think that was the point that Honorable Member from Kana was saying, which is different from the point that the Honorable Member from Mukushi South was talking about, because for him he was saying people were just being given money, but the point by Honorable Member from Kana was different, in that how can you give somebody who has defaulted, who has been paid 25% down payment, you give them another contract, you pay them another 25%, and they default? I think that was where the difference is. May the Honorable Minister continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, let me move on, because time is going, to respond to the carte blanche unsubstantiatable claims made on the floor of this House by the members on your left who debated, when they told this August House, Madam Speaker, that there is grand corruption under the new Dawn administration, that there is too much theft of public resources. Let me indicate, Madam Speaker, that listening to the report as read out by the chairperson, and also having read it myself, there is nowhere the report talks about grand corruption under the new Dawn administration. There is nowhere the report talks about too much theft. What I have to agree with, Madam Speaker, is that abuse of public resources, whether under the rubric corruption or theft, is a systemic problem in this country. Madam Speaker, we have a systemic problem because
Sorry,
the
Honorable
highlights
Minister, there is another indication. With this, there will be no proper flow of the debate. Honorable Member for Lunte, what's the point of order?
Okay. Sorry, Madam. It's not my habit. Madam Speaker, Government Gazette Notice number, what number is this? 7039, which establishes the portfolios for government. Page number, Minister, where are you?
So is it a point of order or a response?
It's a point of order, Madam Speaker.
So what has been breached?
What has been breached, Madam Speaker, is that the Honourable Minister, who is on the floor of the House, has done his best to mislead us regarding the Ministry of Works and Supply. So number 19 on this gazette, which was established by UPND, establishes the Ministry of Transport and Logistics. Subjects under that, Madam Speaker, is airports, aviation training, canals and waterways, civil aviation and airways policy, And then you have control of government transport, which is the logistics I was talking about, flight services, government communications, government fleet management, government printing and gazetting, pontoons and mechanical services, railways policy, road traffic policy, road transport policy. Madam Speaker, this particular portfolio does not cater for asset management. The Honorable Minister has done his best to mislead us. Is he in order to be misleading us just because a member has raised the matter that the ministry which was responsible for asset management has been removed by UPND? Is he in order to mislead us in that fashion? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Now what I see is we are drifting away from the core debate that we are talking about. I don't know, fleet management means what? Doesn't it include asset management? Let's not try to split split the fingers and start arguing about things which are not. Let's concentrate on the business. May the Honorable Minister continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was just beginning to ventilate on the issue relating to the core problem that we must be addressing here, that the issue of abuse of public resources is systemic in this country. Madam Speaker, this issue has to be confronted with a straight face and not to speak in a particular way when it is convenient to yourself. I'm disturbed to hear some of the members on your left, Madam Speaker, now appear to become champions of the fight against corruption. When people who have been booked on account of allegations of corruption have been brought to account, these are the same people who have been defending them, saying this is now political persecution, this is ethnic persecution. They are the same people. When the government, the executive takes action, they now speak on the other side to say this is just political. Today, it is now convenient because they want to make this government look bad. Madam Speaker, us who are in the executive, we are not the ones involved in what this report is talking about. This report is talking about the operations of, the government as a going concern with the civil servants that they left. The civil servants that they left. And some of these challenges are arising because even contractors we are talking about today were used to getting a contract without supplying. And today, action is being taken under the new Dawn administration. They are the first ones. So I urge the citizens of this country not to take anything serious about what they have said because they don't mean well. If they meant well, they would have said, let's address the systemic challenges that is faced this country for many years, and not to bring and try and paint a good government of the new Dawn administration as if it were corrupt. A lot of law reforms have been put in place, such as the creation of the fast-track court to do with financial crimes. All those are tangible efforts that you should have been talking about if you meant well, except you are good at politicking. Time has come. 13th August 2026, again, you will be shown that the people of Zambia don't agree with you in the manner they rejected you in 2021. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to debate the report of the committee pertaining to the Auditor General's report. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, I would like to appreciate Honorable Kafaya for appreciating a very excellent report which was generated by an individual whom he has always said he is not fit to be in that office. But he has delivered for the benefit of the country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to state that as government, we are there to ensure that there is transparency, there is financial prudence in the management of the affairs of this country. And that is why we have never interfered with any institution to bring out a report that shows that there are irregularities in the management of finances in the country. Hence this report that has been generated by an institution that is being supervised by our government. We are proud. This report has raised a number of very pertinent issues, which we, as the current government, have agreed. And we have said we are going to take appropriate action. That is what a good government does. Madam Speaker, it's unfortunate that the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mukushe South is not in the House after making weird and wild statements on the floor of this House. And for us to prudently respond to the issues he has raised, together with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Runte, Madam Speaker, it will only be fair for us to compare and contrast what used to happen under the PF and what is happening now. Madam Speaker, under the PF, it was not unusual, Madam Speaker, not only to pay 25%, they were paying 100% of the contract sum when, in actual fact, works were not done. We have evidence. Evidence was tendered on the floor of this House. And as a result of what we found out, and as a result of the Auditor General's report pertaining to the illegal activities that were prevailing under PF, we cancelled contracts worth 12 billion kwacha. And the report was submitted on the floor of this House. And those reports, Madam Speaker, pointed to a number of senior PF members, some of them who were even MPs. Today, I would have pointed, but they are not in the House. Conveniently, they are not here in the House, who were given contracts. Madam Speaker, I can give one example. We have a contract of a road from Mumbwa Turnoff to Iteztezi. Millions of kwacha were paid in advance, but shoddy works were done. If not, no works were done. And when the government wants to move in, they cry persecution, political vindictiveness, and I hear they even become sick. Our colleagues should take note that we have been diligent, prudent in the way we do things. As if that is not enough. No one of my colleagues who hail from Luapula and the Northern Province who have condemned the theft, the irregularities pertaining to FTJ University. No one. They have been conveniently quiet. The university was supposed to be for the benefit of the people of Luapula. But the representatives have never said anything pertaining to the denial of the people of Luapula to have a university. It is us. It is us who are now saying we'll build a university in Luapula. Yet money was taken, money was siphoned out of the country, and that money was returned back to individual companies, Madam Speaker. They are not talking, especially those colleagues on your left, especially those who are supposed to benefit from Luapula. As if that is not enough, Madam Speaker. Tumpa University in Kasama, millions of dollars were paid. There is nothing on the site, not even a slab at Tumpa University. Yet my colleagues on your left are not talking about it. We are responding to what you are saying.
An indication for a point of order. Honorable Member Fonkana, what's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, this matter for me is very religious. It's very important, and I've been following through every statement being made. I am lost. Premised on 71, again, I bring it to you. Relevance to the conversation at hand. Madam Speaker, it will be very difficult for us to follow the responses or government addressing what is in that report if the Honorable Minister goes to take us on a roller coaster. Madam Speaker, is the Minister of Home Affairs truly in order to take us on that expedition into all those universities and the what? They have several avenues to address all those corruption that may have happened. Today, we want to listen to government position in regards to what has been highlighted in that report. Is he in order to take us on that fishing expedition? I seek your indulgence.
Honorable Member Fonkana, the Honorable Ministers, as I guided earlier on, they are responding to the issues that were raised. In terms of the report, the Honorable Minister said he acknowledges the report and the government is taken note of the report. But on top of that, he needs to react and respond to the issues that you raised so that we have a balanced conversation. May the Honorable Minister continue.
Madam Speaker, for the benefit of my colleague, Honorable Mpundu, I did indicate that government is going to take appropriate action as a result of the good report that has been made by the Auditor General, whom we don't want. We'll take action. Madam Speaker, I was referring earlier in my statement, I referred to Tumpa University in Kasama. Madam Speaker, millions of dollars were paid for the purported works at Tumpa University. I was there. The Minister of Finance was there. We saw what Tumpa University is. And he was there. Madam Speaker, there is nothing there. There's just grass. No works were done. And our colleagues have been quiet. I challenge any one of them to condemn the activities pertaining to Tumpa University. I want them to call for the arrest of those who swindled government out of those millions. I can tell you, Madam Speaker, none of my colleagues on the left will stand up and demand justice for the people of Kasama, for the people of Northern Province. None. Because they were happy. Even now, I can see they are celebrating and they are smiling inside and appreciating those people who swindled the government. Because if they are really genuine, in the cause of fighting corruption, they would have been the first, Madam Speaker. Because they are the direct beneficiaries of the intended Tumpa University and FTJ University. As if that is not enough, Madam Speaker. $120 million was released for Zambia Railways. Zambia Railways, which was under the supervision of one individual whom I'm not going to mention, but he's here in this house. We want to know and want to hear from that person to condemn the misapplication, the theft, the corruption that occurred under Zambia Railways during the PF regime. Zambia Railways, Madam Speaker, as it is now, is a scandal as a result of what happened during that period. Madam Speaker, we as government are going to take action arising from the report of the Auditor General, because we believe and we are fighting for the people of Zambia so that they benefit. I have no doubt in my mind. 13th August 2026, the President of the Republic of Zambia will be re-elected with a bigger mandate to rule this country. And we are also coming back. And I'll be smiling.
May the Honorable Minister wind up.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Lunte, you have a point of order. What's the point of order?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's just a small point of order which intends to correct the record. They are mentioning Zambia Railways, Madam, because I was the Minister of Transport. For their benefit, Madam, for their benefit, I want to tell them that I was a minister under President Edgar Lungu. The money you are talking about went to Zambia many years ago. Today, there is a minister. Why has he failed to do anything about that? Madam Speaker, my point of order. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs accuses the people of Luapula Province and the people of Northern Province.
Order.
Excuse me, Madam Speaker. Excuse me. This is very important. It's a point of order. It will be rude. It will be rude. It will be rude. It will be rude. Madam Speaker, the
order. Order, Honorable Member for Lunte, order. Order. Honorable Member for Lunte, you raise a point of order. Raise the point of order. Tell us what. I have not finished. Tell us what has been breached. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, I was listening when he was making his debate. He was not blaming the people of Luapula Province. He was blaming the representatives of the people. Yes, but don't mix the two because the two are different. And no debate, just raise the point of order.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, the minister is speaking on the floor of the House, seated next to our Honorable Vice President, who was from Northern Province. When I look, Honorable Tayari, Northern Luapula, Honorable the Minister of Sport, Northern Luapula, the Minister of Mines, Northern Luapula Province, myself, Madam Speaker, myself, Northern Luapula Province. This young man seated here, Northern Luapula Province, is he in order to suggest that all of us, from our honor the Vice President, we have no interest of the people of Luapula Province? I seek your serious ruling.
No. Honorable members, let's take things in context. If you are listening very carefully to the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, he was saying the people in the opposition, the government is trying to push an agenda to ensure that the money that was misapplied, which was meant for Luapula, is accounted for. But there is no support coming from the opposition. I think that was the argument. There is no support coming from the opposition. Not that the people in the government coming from Luapula are not supporting. Those are two different things. So anyway, there is no point of order. Let's make progress. Point of order is not admitted, Honorable Member for Lunte. So we can make progress. The Honorable Member for Chikankata winding up debate. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I just saw it. Her Honor the Vice President.
This has never happened, Madam. But just indeed, I also rely on the same standing order 7-1 on the debate and on the being factual in the House. Madam, the people that have been mentioned here have been very clear that we condemn any mismanagement, any corruption, any thing of the sort we are debating today. We have to be clear. I know we are doing politics, Madam, and it's a political week. But the people that have been cited on this side of the House, Madam, have been very clear. We condemn any wrongdoing, past, present. That is why the Honorable Minister in his debate made it very clear that we are not standing for the people who are doing wrong things today. That means current government, previous government. We have condemned the issue, the manner of the misuse, corruption that went on in particularly the construction of the two universities, the one in Luapula and the one in Northern Province. We condemn that. We will still continue to condemn anybody who is misusing resources that are meant to go to the people of Luapula, to the people of Northern Province. It doesn't matter where they come from. When you do wrong, you do wrong. Stand for it. Pay for it. And this is what we are saying even about this report. We agree that you are bringing out, the report has brought out glaring things in this report, and we will continue to condemn. We are not defending the wrong, but we are saying this is not the worst that there is. Worse things have been done. This is what the debate is all about. We have not said we will not deal with the issues. This government, Madam Speaker, will deal with the issues. We will continue to clean up the systematic kind of behavior in terms of governance and the resource usage in our nation. We condemn yesterday, we condemn today. There is no need to point at individuals on this side. We condemn. If you don't condemn what happened at the university in Luapula or Northern, then you are not being sincere with the people. That was wrong to do such a thing. Use millions of resources, whether it is Zambia Railways or so. Madam, I didn't mean it to debate, but I think we are doing politics without being realistic. It is important. The past must be dealt with for us to go forward in the future. It is sad that Zambians want to misuse the resources that are supposed to work to improve the lives of our people. We are here to help. So the report I also really accept and commend the committee for coming out, with this kind of report that we are looking at based on the Auditor General's report. Madam, we have condemned, even as people from Luapula, we have condemned what happened about the construction of the two universities. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much, Honor the Vice President. I was looking at the Honorable Member for Milenge, and I was saying he's going to condemn on behalf of, but then suddenly he has disappeared. I only see the Honorable Member for Mambilima, but she has not indicated, so we go to the Honorable Acting Minister of Finance to respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to begin by commending, this is where we're starting from, commending the Public Accounts Committee for diligently considering the report of the Auditor General in line with its mandate as provided under Standing Order number 2004 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024. Madam Speaker, allow me to further express appreciation to the Office of the Auditor General for effectively fulfilling its constitutional and statutory mandate in promoting sound management of public resources, accountability, and transparent reporting. This important role is anchored on the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Act number 2 of 2025, the Public Audit Act number 13 of 2016, and the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018. Madam Speaker, may I now proceed to provide some feedback on some of the comments and concerns raised by your committee. And Madam Speaker, before I look at specifics, Madam Speaker, I just want to comment on one or two things. Number one, your government has already started making some steps. The pronouncement by the President that we are going only to accept cost-reflective. That is a policy, quality, timely delivery. These are the issues that were raised by members of your committee. So that on its own is a step in the right direction. Number two, Madam Speaker, I'm happy one of our members here said that, in fact, previously, some of these reports were not even tabled. Some of these reports, Madam Speaker, couldn't even see light at the end of the tunnel. So, indeed, we want to expose everything. Madam Speaker, failure to deliver and execute is not tantamount to corruption, and we need to make this very clear. 25% when it's given, it's up to that contractor to execute. But when it fails, that is not corruption, as indicated by Mukushi South. It is not tantamount to corruption. So we wanted to make it very clear that when you fail to execute, all of us are aware that the Auditor General's office have a standing MOU with agencies like SEC, just to mention but a few. So before they could even generate a report, Madam Speaker, before some of these issues are even raised in the report, the SEC will have dealt with those that are not adhering to the provisions. I thought I should mention that, Madam Speaker. Now, coming to specifics, failure to collect government revenue. Madam Speaker,
sorry, Honorable Minister, the Honorable Member for Chirubi is anxiously trying to raise a point of order. What's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, I don't know which country the minister has been in. It has been a standard from UNIP time to make Auditor General's report public up to date. Even in Parliament, if the minister can bother to go to different records of Parliament, these reports have been tabled. But he said, because my point of order is in line with 71, the speech, which is to do with the speech, we have to be factual. He said these reports were not even being tabled. So I don't know which Parliament did not table Auditor General's report. Is in order to insinuate that the reports were not tabled?
From what I was listening following the minister's debate, he was saying one of the members who debated stated that sometimes the reports were not tabled. The auditor's report were not tabled before the House. That's what he was, the Honorable Minister was saying. So the point of order is not sustained. May the Honorable Minister continue.
Minister of Finance, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Reports, Madam Speaker, can be given, but cosmetics. A lot of information was, in some instances, were hidden. You should know that. Madam Speaker, government has continued to implement public financial management, PFM reforms, aimed at strengthening the efficiency, transparency, and accountability of government revenue collection. Government, through Smart Zambia, has prioritized the automation of revenue payment systems, particularly through the government service bus and its associated payment gateways. Their interventions are intended to address weaknesses arising from inadequate enforcement of financial regulations and limited tracking mechanisms, with a view to eliminating revenue leakages and strengthening the integrity of the revenue collection framework. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to report that a total of 394 public services have now been integrated into the government service bus, surpassing the initial target of 380. This milestone has greatly enhanced the efficiency of non-tax revenue collection. These services are accessible through the ZAM portal, providing the public with a secure and convenient platform for making payments. Madam Speaker.
So order. Sorry, Honorable Minister, as the time is 12:30, I suspend business until 14:30 hours for lunch break.
Television, business of the House has been suspended for a lunch break, and we do expect business of the House to resume at about 14:30. So just now we look at business that has been considered on the floor of the House from the time business commenced at 10 hours.
Yes, so we had one announcement by the Honorable Madam Speaker, and then Madam Speaker did announce the presence in the public gallery of visitors from Alliance for Community Action in Lusaka District, and on behalf of the National Assembly, she welcomed the visitors to the institution.
After that announcement, the House went on to consider 3 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. And the first question on the order paper today, question 341, came from a Nyimba Member of Parliament, Mr. Menyami Zulu. He directed this question to the Minister of Energy. He wanted to find out a question in 4 parts. In part A, whether the government has any plans to electrify the following institutions in Nyimba District. These are Chifukuzi Primary School, Kanyana Primary School, Kalongo Mwape Secondary School, Homfmeya Secondary School, Kacholola Secondary School, Chiwale Secondary School, and Chief Nalugwe's Palace, and Chief Mwape's Palace. And in response, the minister did say that government through RIA has plans. In part B, the Member of Parliament for Nyimba wanted to find out if so when the plans will be implemented. The Minister of Energy said the plans will be implemented in 2028, subject to the availability of funds. And in part C, wanted to find out what the estimated cost of the project is. The Minister said 114,436,408 kwacha is the cost of the project for Chifukuzi Primary School, Kanyana Primary School, Homfmeya Secondary School, Kachololo Secondary School, and Chiwale Secondary School. And he did say that the cost of the project for Kanyana Primary School, Kalongo Mwape Secondary School, Chief Nyalugwe's Palace, and Chief Mwape's Palace, the cost will be established once feasibility studies are conducted in the 3rd quarter of 2026. And in the last part of the question, he wanted to find out if there are no such plans, why the Minister of Energy said government has plans.
Yes, and then we had question 342, which came from Chaoma Member of Parliament, Mr. Bright Nundwe, and his question was directed to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Part A of the question, he wanted to know what measures the government is taking to avert overflooding during the rainy season in the following areas in Lusaka District, considering that the next rainy season is only a few months away. And these areas are Chawama, Kanyama, Kabwata, Kamwala South, Libala South, and Mandevu. And in response to this question, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development did inform the House that the government is constructing stormwater drainages in a phased approach to avert this, and the government is also sensitizing the residents in the good solid waste management practice, with a particular emphasis on disposing waste management with particular emphasis on not disposing waste management in drainages. He also did inform the House that there is enforcement against construction of illegal structures that are being built on drainages and natural waterways. And part B of the question, what measures when the measures are being implemented, the minister did indicate that the plans are being implemented in a phased manner. And part C, what the time frame for the completion of the exercise is. The minister informed the House that the exercise is ongoing but is being delayed due to budgetary constraint.
The last question on the order paper today came from Chilubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube. He directed this question to the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock. He wanted to find out in part A, how many companies were involved in the production of fish feed in Zambia as of April 2026. The minister said there were 6 companies that were involved in the production of fish feed in Zambia. In part B, he wanted to find out what the names of the companies are. The minister said these are NAP Feed, Farm Feed, Zamfresh, Tiger Animal Feeds, Ala Aqua Zambia, and Novatech Animal Feed. In part C, he wanted to find out how many tons of fish feed was produced from 2018 to 2024 year by year. The minister said that no verified year by year available fish feed were produced from 2018 to 2024. And in part D, the Member of Parliament for Chilubi wanted to find out how many tons were exported during the same period. The minister said that no official export was recorded between 2018 to 2020.
Yes, after the questions for oral answer, there was a motion that was moved by Chikankata Member of Parliament, Jacqueline Sebao, in which she urges the House to adopt the report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of the Republic for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. And we have quite a number of members of Parliament who have debated this motion. We had Nkana Member of Parliament, Mr. Binwe Mpundu, and Mukushi South Member of Parliament, David Sopa. Chitambo Member of Parliament, remember Mutale, did add his voice to this motion. And we also had Lunte Member of Parliament, Mr. Kafwaya Mutotwe, also added his voice to the motion. Chawama Member of Parliament, Mr. Bright Nundwe. The Minister of Information, Honorable Cornelius Mweta, Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, and also Her Honor, the Vice President, also added their voice to this motion that was being debated. And just before business was interrupted, we had the Minister, the Acting Minister on Finance and National Planning, adding his voice to the motion that was under consideration. So this is where business of the House has ended for this morning and part of this afternoon. Remember that business continues at 14:30 hours. So continue watching Parliament Television as we continue bringing Parliament closer to you. For now, we take a break.
There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
It's not a sporting heat quite like